All right, good morning, everybody. Should we get up to calisthenics or anything? I know you guys have been sitting down for quite a while here today. Um, well, I want to thank you for the time. Thank you, Goldie, and the rest of the team for having me here. Alan, congratulations on your retirement there. Wish you all the best in that. But one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys all about today, we've heard a lot of the conversation about AI, refactoring applications, IT modernization, and the like of everything that's happening inside of the government space. And all that is very key, crucial, and important for what we're trying to, what the government is trying to accomplish for their mission on a day-to-day basis. But realizing that there's more. You have to also consider the infrastructure and the things that are moving this data back and forth. Because AI infrastructures are great. LLMs do a lot of really interesting things. The inferencing that comes out of that, and the data that we have, all have to interconnect in one way, shape, or form. And that doesn't happen unless you have a modernized infrastructure, a modernized network to be able to support moving that information and getting it together, and then putting it so that you have the proper insights to be able to get out there. There's a lot of things that are proliferating across the infrastructure today that's providing these insights. I mean, you have the drones that are being put into place, AI sensors from our IoT sensors that are inside of our service grids, things that are all over the world today, and it's not just data in one different place. So where we're looking at is trying to make sure that we're providing that proper connectivity and getting the understanding of how to integrate this information, integrate the networks, and continue to help work with the government modernize these networks. I mean, and there's a lot that's going on. I mean, there's like around 2,000 AI applications that are being developed by the government today that we know of that's out in the public. I'm sure there's quite a few more. And again, for those to be able to get that information back and forth, you got to have an infrastructure that's in place to be able to support that. So what we're doing is making sure that we're going through, working with each one of the agencies to ensure that not only you have the right infrastructure, but you're building the infrastructure that's supporting the future growth of all the things that are going to be happening, because this data proliferation is going to continue to spike throughout there. So what we're doing is building out things like more fiber that's going across the globe. If you've seen a lot of the things that are happening with the hyperscalers, we're working with them in partnership to build 100 gigs, 400 gigs, trying to work through terabyte data interconnectivity to be able to get that interconnection across the world. We're also working through with all of our wireless services as well, because this is not only information and data that's at the infrastructure, at the enterprise level, but it's also working in places like we are here today in the hotel. We're still getting information from all of the different agencies to be able to complete our mission and make sure that we're supporting all the citizens on the day-to-day basis. But it's more than just also the infrastructure and getting out there more fiber, more Ethernet connectivity, more wireless spectrum. We're also then moving up the stack too as well, because there is still a tight coupling between the infrastructure and the applications. As you heard previously before me, Alan set it up pretty well for me, was how do you then get application and support that ties and couples that with the infrastructure, so that the applications are not just riding over that the fiber, riding over the spectrum, but they're also then working hand in hand to be able to give that application what it needs. And this is where you have things such as an SD-WAN architecture, which we are proudly going through right now with our FedRAMP SD-WAN that's in process, that will be then supporting agencies to be able to say, okay, while I'm refactoring these applications, while I'm working through my AI models, I'm able to then take that in a secure manner and tie that into the network to be able to get the most in a performance standpoint, but also then from a protected standpoint too as well. Because when you start getting into these virtualized infrastructures, you're then working into what the government is looking for, which is a zero trust architecture, to be able to then ensure that information flow, regardless if it's going to the end device that's sitting in your hand today, or to your where you're sitting at in your laptops in your offices, that you have the ability to ensure that you're secured, you're getting information that, on an in-time manner, and it's also providing insights that you need on a day-to-day basis. And then keeping along that lines of security infrastructures, we're also working to ensure that each one of the government agencies, there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of insights that need to be taken into place. There's a lot of actions that need to be taken into place. So how do you then tie that into a secure architecture to be able to then make sure that you're providing insights and information without fear of information being siphoned out, information leakages, or even bad actors in your network. And this is where we're coming into play with building into that virtualization to then tie into these SASE solutions, or tying into their a managed detect and managed response architecture to ensure that we're not only providing those protection mechanisms, linking that into the network to be able to ensure that there's security and performance happening at the same time, but then also feeding that insight into the government, because you also have your own operations centers, own security centers, so that we're working in tandem and partnering with you side by side to ensure that you have network that's always available for these applications and for your users, but then it's also secured at the same time. A lot of that is tied into how do we then make sure that we're providing the proper efficiencies, and because as you're going through today, you're working through how do you do more with less. This is not just for the government, the industry as well. We're working through how do you then provide more insights, how do you provide more actions, how do you deliver for each one of your constituents with what you have today. And this is where we're wanting to make sure that we're partnering with you guys to provide managed services associated with these capabilities. We want the government to be able to focus on each one of your missions. If you're working at National Weather Service and you're trying to make sure that you're providing the weather insights that are necessary, or you're working at USDA and you're trying to get more insights on how food safety and things are happening, you want to be able to ensure that you're able to do that and focus on being able to get these things out to your constituents and not worry about how the network itself is going to be supporting that, how your security is going to be supporting that. And this is where we're working to make sure that we're partnering with each one of the agencies to provide operational services, which will then ensure that that network is getting connectivity across each one of the agencies, connectivity where the data is, and then making sure that you're getting those insights in a secure manner out to your iPhones, out to your laptops, out to wherever it is that you need to get that information at your fingertips. And we're also making sure that there's insight and agility associated with those managed services that you're providing into place. AI is a great tool for providing this. We've been using that for years, even before all the craze of OpenAI and that, because that's important for us to make sure that we're driving the efficiencies into the network, and we're able to provide the best services associated with whatever the connectivity that we're providing for each one of you today. Wow, 10 minutes does wrap up really fast. So I want to then close out and say, listen, we understand there's a lot of digital transformation, there's continued digital transformation that will go on throughout the rest and time. This is not a journey that stops once you get to a single point and say, yay, we'll meet that point, we don't have to do this again. This is something we're going to be working with you guys all the time on a day-to-day basis. So we want to make sure that you're providing these network infrastructures, these supporting security services that provide you not only today and get you to where you need to be today, but are flexible and ready for things that are going to be coming down the future in the near, 1 to 2 years to 5 years down the lane. Because not only is AI here to stay and it will be growing and creating more data, but you have things like quantum and other things which are going to provide more and more insights, more and more data that's going to come across those networks. And for that, we're going to make sure that we're there to partner with each one of you guys on an agency standpoint and ensure that you're getting performance, you're getting security, and you're getting the necessary services needed to meet the needs of each one of your missions today. I want to thank you for the time, and I appreciate you. Have a good day.